From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Studio One. I'm Morgan Goulding.
And I'm Kari Strandberg.
Today on the show, experts say more than 20 million people are enrolled in American colleges this year. These students are predominantly white, but the number of minorities is rising. We'll meet a woman who does what it takes to enhance these students' college experience.
Also, freshwater fishing has always been a Midwest favorite, whether it be for food or just for fun. See how one invasive species is putting some anglers' casts on hold. But first, 2 NASA astronauts left the comfort of their craft this week to complete an important job. The crew took a 7-hour walk outside of the International Space Station. Their walk, while exciting, wasn't all fun and games. They were tasked with installing and removing various pieces of hardware. This was astronaut Scott Kelly's first spacewalk in his year-long stay at the Science Center. The legal age to buy cigarettes and other tobacco products could rise to 21. The American Academy of Pediatrics wants to raise the legal age limit with the aim of reducing the number of children addicted to nicotine. This recommendation also includes the purchase of e-cigarettes and outlaws flavored tobacco like grape and cotton candy. The group also urges the Federal Drug Association to regulate e-cigarettes the same way it does other tobacco products. Pumpkins can seem spooky in their jack-o'-lantern state, but don't be fooled, they're actually one of the most nutritious fruits out there. Loaded with antioxidants and disease-fighting vitamins, nutritionalists say they're a bona fide superfood. Pumpkins are known to be rich in immune-boosting beta-carotene. This nutrient gives pumpkins its bright orange color and can be converted into a form of vitamin A, almost 200% of the recommended daily value. But it's the benefits that only start there.
Most people think of bananas when they think of potassium, but actually pumpkins have they're a really great source of that.
Although there's no real pumpkin in that pumpkin spice latte, there are several ways you can sneak it into the real thing. Whether it's the seeds, the guts, canned or cooked, or even raw, pumpkin can be added to almost anything. Just be sure to not eat too much, or you may turn orange from the excessive amount of beta-carotene.
If you're focused on not biting your nails in class, you may forget what the professor says. New research from Duke University shows that when willpower is practiced, it competes with the same brain functions that control our memory. Study participants were told to hit a button when certain images were shown, and told withhold when others were shown. The results showed that a person's memory to refrain from doing the task was much worse when they're asked to complete the task. These findings suggest that self-control and memory retention compete for the same part of the brain.
The waters of North Dakota are facing a questionable future. One small critter has the potential to cause big problems.
The Red River has been running long before the first settlers arrived. As of recent, a new settler has come that is known to overstay its welcome.
It's not something that would happen overnight, but it would happen over years.
Zebra mussels actually prefer lakes because they want water that's calm and quiet.
Large boats accidentally brought this invasive species across the ocean, often in stowed water found in the cargo holds of ships.
Water that got into the Great Lakes initially, and now they're just kind of making their way west.
At the Grand Forks Water Treatment Plant, it is common for small fish to enter and live within the walls of the facility. These small fish are rarely a problem, but this particular invasive species could be an expensive addition.
Economically, it's going to add cost to our treatment process.
In other areas of the country, cleaning mussels from water intake valves is costly.
So that's why we're taking an active role right now in addressing the situation now.
If zebra mussels establish themselves, they are likely to disrupt the entire ecosystem, which is detrimental to fish populations.
As a boater, you need to inspect your boat and make sure that you're cleaning your boat in between lakes so that you're not bringing that zebra mussel to the next lake.
As long as anglers do their part, other actions such as chemical treatments can be used to remove the mussels from waterways.
Hopefully we can find something that that's very cost effective.
As ecosystems change, there will be room for new tenants. How we welcome them will determine the duration of their stay. I'm Alex Amon, reporting for Studio One.
2 new emergency rules have been put in place on the Red River. Anglers are no longer allowed to be transporting live bait out of the river, and boats must be drained before leaving their river ports. And that's the news for now.
Thanks, Kari. Let's go now to Emily Pogatshnik for the weather news. Emily?
Thanks, Morgan. This week in the Weather Studio, we've been taking a look at flooding in Texas due to the remnants of Hurricane Patricia. And in this video here, you can actually see where some of the strong winds are really whipping that rain around. Torrential rainfall has been smashing records in Texas. Up to 20 inches of rain have fallen over some parts of the area, with other areas reporting their rainfall totals in feet instead of inches. Heavy rains have washed away cars and even derailed a freight train, and strong winds are really battering the coastline, pushing tides 5 feet or more above normal levels, forcing people to take cover and prepare for the rising water. And since the southeastern part of the United States has been getting a lot of water, the West Coast, mainly California, has been wishing that they can get a little bit of relief, but relief could be on the way for them as we take a look at the upper level systems and how they are going to be moving over the next week. Last week we saw a nice trough move into California, and a trough is great for bringing in some precipitation for the area. But it brought a little bit too much to them because they did see some mudslides last week. This season, though, California has really been in a ridging effect, which ridging helps with giving you nice sunny skies, doesn't help too much for precipitation. Though next week we could see a nice trough develop over California, bringing a bunch of precipitation into the area, which is how El Nino is really helping the country this year. Now, we've all tripped over cracked concrete before, and there's actually particular reasons why concrete can do that.
Sorry, problem. Sidewalks need the proper conditions to stay crack-free.
In dry years, they affect settling as well because they can dry out the clay, which causes the clay to shrink and creates void underneath the slab.
Taylor says in extreme cold and hot climates, there's really no way to prevent cracking. But one way you can fix it is by a process called mudjacking.
The process of raising settled concrete by drilling holes in the existing concrete, pumping material underneath to level out the slab.
Not only does this happen to your sidewalks, but it can also happen to your homes and driveways.
Clay shrinks, it's putting more pressure on the foundation, which is causing it to crack more.
This year has been dry in the upper Midwest. Conditions for cracking are perfect with freezing temperatures on the way and dry soil.
Warmer climates like California, they have a lot less settling issues as opposed to someplace like North Dakota or Minnesota.
Mudjacking is oftentimes a cheaper and faster alternative to fix major cracking problems. However, there are ways to fix or prevent cracking from occurring.
One of the main things that you can do is watch it where your water flows off your house. We see a lot of sidewalks getting washed out because people don't have effective drainage from their gutters.
Next time you get tripped up on a sidewalk, remember, cracked concrete and climate go hand in hand. Reporting for Studio One, I'm Kayla Lucky.
And in some parts of the country, as in Texas, they actually water their foundations. And that brings us to our weather question of the week. What state holds the record for the worst drought? Is it Texas, Nevada, California, or Arizona? Now, Morgan, this state does have a history of droughts that have lasted well over 200 years.
All right, thanks, Emily. Now let's go to Kari for the sports story of the day. Kari?
Thank you, Morgan. Often up and out of the way, sports announcers provide important information to the fans. Even though they're hidden, you can't miss their excitement and passion for the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of North Dakota into the beautiful Ralph Engelstad Arena.
Attend one men's hockey game at the University of North Dakota, and the odds are you've heard that voice. The man behind it, however, is a mystery to many. Darren Looker has been the voice of UND men's hockey since 2005 and has loved it since day one.
I was pretty ecstatic. I've been a lifelong UND hockey fan, and a lot of people call it a dream job, but at the same time it was kind of that job that you never really thought would open up.
As a freshman in college, Darren was handed the mic and, in a way, realized he was one with the team.
There were 13 other freshmen on the ice for North Dakota, and I was kind of the unofficial 14th, I guess.
With an eye on the ice, he waits for the next opportunity to inspire the fans.
So when you get the building going and the sieves are raining down, and all right, now let's do a scoring. you're feeling it and you're pretty amped up at the same time.
Darren is a true model of do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
It's that way every night, you know, such an enjoyment getting to do what I'm blessed and fortunate enough to get to do every weekend.
Until the puck drops again, he lets everyone know they've been heard. Reporting for Studio One, I'm Avery Robb.
Darren says after he's satisfied with his announcing career, he would like to transition to the radio broadcast side of men's hockey games. And that's the sports story for today's show. Morgan, I've been to a few of those games this year, and everyone loves that announcer. He really knows how to get the crowd going.
Yeah, it was great to see the fun that happens behind the scenes, too.
I agree.
Thanks, Kari. For decades, multicultural students have voiced their need for representation in American universities. Learn how one woman is making everyone's voice heard on her college campus.
Closed captioning for Studio One is underwritten in part by NDAD, helping others to help themselves.
For me to go to college, it was a big step knowing that I'm pursuing a better future for myself. When you know that you have a small system there that you can still find comfort in, it really makes a difference. The support here and everything that they offer for us, you know, the tutors, the free meals, the family, the friends, basically just somewhere for you to relax and be comfortable and find that home feeling again.
Yeah, okay, science meets imagination. Life changed by innovation. Through the future of our nation. Engineers the occupation. UND College of Engineering and Mines. Invest in your mind to stay with the times. Formulas, machines, and all that's in between. They teach it all from wall to wall to help you succeed. Come on, it could be electrical, chemical, or civil. Our world-class staff will help you make it all official. Mechanical, petroleum, geology align at the
UND's College of Engineering and Mines.
Okay, become a leader, prove yourself among all your peers. Changing the world begins right here. You're not alone, but in the plan, we'll take your hand and help you stand with mentorship and advising. We'll do all we can. Okay, so if you want to join the party, simply calculate. The math adds up, so never think to hesitate. Education, leadership, and dreams combine at the UND College of Engineering and Mines.
Closed captioning for Studio One is supported in part by the Listen Center, enriching the lives of people who have intellectual disabilities with choices in community recreation.
College is a hard time for many young Americans. It can be made even more difficult when you're a different culture than those sitting next to you in class. UND Director of the Multicultural Student Service Center, Malika Carter, joins us today to talk what it does to make the help students feel like they belong. Thanks for joining us today, Malika.
Thank you.
Do you want to first off telling us what is the Multicultural Student Service Center?
Sure. Multicultural Student Services serves as a place historically for African American, Black, Asian Pacific Islander, Latino, Latina, and mixed race students. However, the office also serves every single student on campus.
So what do you personally do there?
So I serve as the director there, and in my role, I do a lot of recruitment and also retention services. Those can range from anywhere between tutoring, mentoring, also any other major thing that may be going on in a student's life, helping them to solve those major issues, because persons of color, students of color particularly, have various different hurdles in order to remain in school and also to get to school.
So typically, what kind of students use this center?
So in addition to underrepresented students of color, underrepresented or historically underrepresented at UND, we have those students, but also their white counterparts that come to our office as well. In addition to the services that we offer in the center, there's also services that we offer outside of the center, mainly through our signature themed month events. One we've just gotten done with, and that is going to be Latino Awareness Month, which ranged from September 15th to October 15th. Another one we have coming up pretty soon is going to be a huge community-wide celebration to celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and thereafter February, which is Black History Month. And then the last one to wrap up that semester, this next semester, is going to be April, which is Asian Pacific Islander Awareness Month.
All right. So what do you personally think is the biggest challenge for students from another country or culture?
Well, many of the students, and I'm glad you asked that, many of the students that come through our office, even though we have various friends from a variety of different countries, the students that we serve are going to identify as domestic students of color. And so one of the things that they usually run into on campus is people thinking that they're from a different country, or vice versa. If the student is from a different country, somebody not understanding that the way they walk in the world is very different from a domestic student of color. And an example of that is a person that may be from, I don't know, Minneapolis, Chicago, Cleveland, Ohio. And they're a domestic person, they're a person of color who has been either socialized in or raised from birth in those particular places, will experience the world very, very differently from a student that has come from a different place. Also, it is important to delineate too that when people come to our office, they mistake that persons of color are going to be black, brown, and tan. Not necessarily true. There are many, many students who identify as persons of color. Domestic persons of color, they may have a mixed race identity. Their parent may be black, and then their other parent may be white. The same thing with international students as well. They may identify as an international person, and they may really be a refugee, and they're really not a citizen, but they're really not a citizen of another country. So they're in this in-between place. And so that makes it hard for us sometimes, but also in many ways easy. So we have to be very careful about how we approach a student and also about how we solve an issue with the student, because they see the world and walk in the world in very, very different ways.
That makes sense. So why do you think it's important to have a service like this on UND's campus and campuses all around the nation?
Well, it's important to have a multicultural student services office because institutions of higher education in the country were not built for these individuals. We know that institutions of higher education were once very exclusive, and so that meant that other people had to create their own institutions. And so now that it's illegal to discriminate against people, and we have that in all of our materials regarding diversity and inclusion, that we don't discriminate. So it's important for us to make sure that not only are we welcoming, but also that we are custom fitting our institution with things that help these individuals and everyone else to be successful. When you include other people, that not only strengthens the mind of the individual who may be seen as different, but that also does the same thing for the person whose identity is normalized in a particular place. And so eventually, the degree value of a UND degree is made stronger by the diversity that exists inside and outside of the classroom.
Okay. So lastly, what do you hope to accomplish at the center with your time there?
Well, I have been at the center since 2011. And I feel like there has been quite a few things that we've accomplished. One of those things is the citywide MLK celebration that we do each year. Another, because we have a highly transient staff, is to do a lot of things electronically. Even though people can't physically be working together, they can be shoulder partnering electronically. And we do a lot of that, especially since social media and other electronic means of communication has helped us to do a lot more work. So overall, do more good work with the resources that we have.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for joining us today, Malika.
Thank you for having me.
Sometimes the hardest part of following a dream is gaining the confidence to take the first step. Coming up, learn how one event gives hopeful entrepreneurs the confidence and resources to make their ideas a reality.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
It's not the size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
Dakota is facing challenges in healthcare delivery. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences is building a place to help meet the state's healthcare needs. In addition to a new structure, we're also building interaction between healthcare professionals while building a workforce through expanding class sizes. We're inspiring our youth to engage in healthcare careers and exploring ways to reduce disease. It starts here and ends here, building a better future for North Dakota.
Really admire the faculty. They're the ones that kind of helped push me through this.
Courses are hands-on and interactive. The communication program has so many different facets to it. One of the great things about the staff in the communication department is that they love what they do. They encourage you to really critically think and analyze everything you're learning. They're so into it, and it makes you want to be into it.
To have the future you want and a career you'll be proud of, you'll need a great education. The University of North Dakota can get you there with more than 225 degree programs, preparing you for today's fastest growing, high demand careers, like medicine and health professions, aerospace, business, engineering, and energy. Schedule your campus visit today at und.edu/go, because to succeed, you need to be exceptional.
If you would like to attend a live show, go to our website at studio1.und.edu.
Sandra Bullock is having a good year. She's one of Hollywood's top paid actresses and was named the most beautiful woman by People magazine. This is all just in time for her latest movie, Our Brand is Crisis. Bullock plays a late operative who once was considered the best people in the world of politics. She leaves retirement and returns to politics after a scandal that changed her as a person and a politician, all for the chance to beat her #1 nemesis.
Oddly, that's what the film is about, you know. Some people have to do some things that are very frightening for the greater good, and this one scared the bejesus out of me.
Producers Grant Heslov and George Clooney say the film has a great sense of humor, showing the absurdity and situations politicians have to face. They highlighted the amount of money that is spent on campaigns and how candidates will do anything to win the race. Our Brand is Crisis released October 30th with an R rating. A New York restaurant owner is pioneering a new way for customers to take care of their bill. He recently decided to raise his menu prices by 20 to 35% to give his servers a higher wage. In return, customers are asked not to leave a tip. We wanted your thoughts on whether that's a good idea or if tips are the way to go.
I don't think that's a good idea. Sometimes a tip is what helps them get through the night or pay the last bill, so I think that they should be able to get tipped.
No, because most servers live on their tips.
I think it would be kind of nice for servers to get a regular wage because they may get like a consistent price.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter because like a lot of places don't get tips.
Just when everyone must pay the same, you can't pay more when you like the service, or you can't pay less when you dislike it. And
I actually think it's kind of a good idea because then they'll get paid more accurate.
Oh, I think as a customer I'd very much prefer that because it takes a lot of pressure off of me to how much of a tip I should leave.
Yeah, I think it's fair because like if he raised the price on food, then they get paid more, so they don't really need the tips as much.
A comment on Facebook from Jack in Roseville, Minnesota. No, because it takes away their incentive for waiters to give better service to their customers because of the potential for a larger tip. Carly in Fargo, North Dakota says, I think servers make most of their money through tips. They earn each themselves. In the end, the higher wage will likely still be less than the servers would make in tips.
Starting a business takes time, effort, and creativity. Entrepreneurs are pushing on the limits of time and hoping for making their business ventures come true in only 54 hours.
Saying, so here's our big vision, right? But we got a long road ahead and we need...
Jana Youngren is working on her dream.
It's been unbelievable what this weekend has involved.
Jana is one of 30 aspiring entrepreneurs at Startup Weekend. Early on, 6 teams of 5 people band together in order to work on one business idea that they wish to see come true.
There's no such thing as a bad idea, and that's like the point of it, is to explore the options. How am I going to make this work? how can you make money from this? Is it something that we want to continue?
Everybody has an idea, and whether it's young or old, they have aspirations to see what they can do to move their idea forward.
Jana's idea has been years in the making.
I mean, we've talked about it for 7 years, and I think it's going to happen.
Her idea comes in the form of a cell phone application. After losing her ability to walk 7 years ago from multiple sclerosis, she wanted to do something that would improve the lives of others.
Just because it's a 5-star hotel isn't necessarily a 5-star hotel for a handicapped person. And I'm not the only handicapped person in the world.
The app aims for users to rate and review hotels that have the correct accommodations for people with a handicap. The process of creating a startup takes great dedication, and continuing on with it takes passion.
We've got a lot of work to do ahead of us, but I'm not going to let it die.
This passion through an idea is what makes Jana's dream come true.
Goes to Candy.
I'm Taylor Nelson, reporting for Studio One.
After winning first place at Startup Weekend, Jana's team was awarded $1,000 to further the business along with a free professionally designed logo. Morgan, I think the backstory on that is incredible on why she wanted to participate in that competition.
Yeah, I got goosebumps from hearing the passion in her voice.
Me too.
Thanks, Kari. Now Emily joins us in the studio with a final look at the weather. Emily?
Thanks, Morgan. As we look at our temperatures for the next week, the eastern part of the United States are going to be pretty warm. The western part a little bit cooler with some rain systems moving in. For precipitation, most of the country is looking to get a little bit here and there. Even though it does show California still being dry, they will get some precipitation as well, just not as much as they normally have this time of year. And that brings us back to our weather question of the week. What state holds the record for the worst drought? And that is actually California. Scientists have used tree rings to determine drought years. In Morgan, there was about 1,500 years ago, there was a drought that lasted 240 years.
The drought itself lasted 234 years? Wow, that's crazy. Thanks, Emily. And that's our show for today. As always, you can follow us through social media or get more information on our website.
From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.